What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Branded Dude. Today it's going to be a deck profile video because I just now recently participated in an OTS at a store and we ended up coming 7th place with Branded Despia. There was a total of 30 participants there and we came top 8, 7th place. So I decided I have to make a deck profile video because one, so far I am what's the word I'm looking for, preparing for a states that is happening next month in June, and OTS was obviously a good opportunity to test out the deck list that I wish to run at states or at these OTSs. So it was good preparation, good testing as well. So obviously I'm going to share my deck profile and obviously gives you my game discussions, my thoughts also about the card choices that I made, and obviously you guys can let me know. Maybe you guys find something weird, maybe you can give me a better option, better cards to play, or just some advice or even some inspiration for the deck list you guys want to run. But I decided I did pretty well, need to show deck profile and obviously share with you my thoughts on how my deck list did at the OTS. And yeah, so let's just hop on straight into it. So we are playing a 56 card build. I was at first testing a 55, and then I was trying to run it as a 50 card build, but 50 card build. I'm not sure if I said that, but we tried to run a 50 card build, and I must say that with 50 card I had to cut out, I guess, let me just say non-engine. But I didn't really like how a 50 card build was just being played out. I wasn't seeing the cards I needed. I was either seeing multiple of some cards that I didn't want, and honestly it just felt like I was just missing some I think it was non-engines mainly that I wanted to hopefully still play in the deck. So I ended up going up to 55 and then I just pushed it up just to 56. So yeah, that's why 56 card build. Did I brick today? No. We played 5 rounds and I did brick once. It was a game against I think it was a game 1. I did go up against, it was Malice. Game 2 was against Regenesis Kashtira. Game 3 was against the I kind of forgot, but I'll just I'll pop up the name of the archetype that I went up here on screen. It was like Temple of Kings, something like that, but there's the other name. Game 4 was against Memento and game 5 was against Telement. So I think I bricked against the game 3 against the Temple of Kings deck list. But yeah, we did end up bricking there, but it was only once. That's the only time I ever bricked. Other games, other rounds, whenever I sided and whenever I drew the cards, we did draw pretty good. So yeah, not too much. We didn't break too much, just once. And overall, yeah, the deck list, the ratios, it did seem to work pretty well. Side cards, obviously, when I sided them, I did end up seeing 1 or 2 of them. Either I saw 1 in my starting hand or 2, or we just ended up drawing into them as well, which is totally fine. But yeah, overall happy with the cards, deck list size and card ratio. So yeah, obviously here you're gonna see that we are playing obviously 3 Albazes and playing 3 Albion Shrouded. Now obviously other deck list profiles you see, people will praise that playing 3 Albion Shrouded is pretty good. It is pretty good. I was someone who believed just playing 1 was enough, but honestly playing 3 has made it a lot easier for me just to either treat it as an Albaz, when it's on field or grave, and I guess also for consistency. So playing 3, yeah. So playing 3 here, these 3 Albion Shrouded actually came up in my what's it Telement matchup, because I ended up having all 3 of my Albazes banished and I needed to just rely on Shrouded being treated as Albaz in the graveyard to hopefully just fusion summon, and then through that method I ended up recycling at least 1 of my Albazes back into the deck. They were all 3 were banished. So yeah, honestly being able to have 3 did come up. So I guess for that also, that other reason is just having it treated as Albaz really can be quite beneficial if you're in that situation. So yeah, 3 Shrouded, 3 Albaz, 2 Cartesians, 2 Quems, pretty standard. 3 Alubas, 1 Tragedy. I was actually testing in playing a 50 card build with no Adlib, but Adlib, yeah, this is not a card you have to play. I just couldn't give up that chance, that effect of being able to reborn Mirror Jade, when you use it as fusion material with Mirror Jade. because Mirrorjade is the only card that is like technically a soft once per turn. So yeah, I just couldn't get rid of it, so I just decided to leave it there. Did it come up? Absolutely. But yeah, Adlib is Adlib. We are playing the Bestials. We're only playing one Bestial Lubellion, 3 Saronias and 1 Mag, 3 Saronias and 3 Ivory on the Shrouded. This alongside with 3 high spreads. Yep, listen, this gives us quite good amounts of setup even before you activate Branded Fusion. So yeah, pretty happy with this ratio. Magdamat, I was also testing on not playing this, but I decided, being able to recycle your dragons in the end phase of Mag can really come up, because I must say today against in the games I had, the grind game was serious. I had to like make sure that my fusions were being recycled, that I didn't end up not running out of one Albas fusions to use for Mirrorjade's effect, and obviously just being able to like go into Chaos Star Source more than once, and just breaking the board and keeping the grind going. So yeah, it did really come up. So Bestial package, pretty happy with that. Did not feel the need for Jerusalem or Baldrake, and I am pretty happy with that. So yeah, 2 Mercurius. This is also one change. I was only playing 1 Tragedy, 1 Merc, but I decided, you know what, this I can't play 1 Mercury. I need that second one for that, the other negate when it comes up. So yeah, no Golden Soul in the deck list. Took it out. Just decided, you know what, it's fine. We don't need it. So we're just playing 2 Mercurius. Kit for the recycler. This card came up so much. Kit is so vital just for the grind game. So Kit came up quite a bit. Mode Charmies, yeah, we run the Fuelos as well as the Perulia in the main deck. So the reason why I run in both, obviously Fuelos is a main deck, you have to, that's standard, you have to run this in main deck. But I also decided to keep Perulia in my main deck because I never know whether I'm going up against Raijo Mitsurugi or Malice. I never know, but also the thing is, you never know what type of deck sometimes you might end up going up against, and being able to just get draws off their, I guess normal summon, additional normal summon, or anything summoning from hand. I said, that can come up, 100% this can come up. In the tournament today, I only ended up using Fuelos mostly. Did I see Perulia? Nope, never saw Perulia. I ended up just mostly seeing Fuelos. I think I activated Fuelos, or let me activate and resolve Fuelos, total of maybe 3 times. 3 times today. I didn't see this card in my hand every game, just I guess in 3 games I saw it. But it didn't get ashed. I did end up drawing some cards, and yeah, it did its job. Perulia, never saw it, but it's still there. Pretty good, draw power, and honestly this can stop your opponent from doing too much comboing. So yeah, this is in the main deck, pretty happy with it. Spells, 1 fusion, standard, 3 high spirits. This came up so much, having high spirits and Serenia both in hand. That is such a god hand for Branded. So yeah, 1 red, 1 Branded white. Branded white was also a card I was contemplating on taking it out, but I must say, nope, this card has to stay in there. The number of times I would go through fusion, then go through red, sure, when Retribution recycles one of these to cool, but then when you end up having both of them in grave and no access to Retribution to use its effect in the graveyard, having either the Search of Albion or Luba for Branded White just meant I could just keep going, literally. So yeah, not taking those out. Branded red, Branded white, both stay there. Last 3 openings. Regained. Now regained, I must say, is so important for me. Regained, honestly, is so important for me, just being able to recycle whatever fusions or whatever card back in so we can keep going. I've used Regain to just either recycle my Albion to Branded, because I would run out of these 2 pretty quickly, of either Mirrorjade or using it as fusion material for banishment. Being able to recycle Chaos Star Source, so you could just fusion summon again, go pop also with Chimera. But yeah, Regained was so important. Just being able to recycle is so important. So yeah, pretty happy with this card. Also being able to draw, who knows, maybe you draw into your side hand trap. So yeah, Kobai, 3 deployments, 1 gold sock, no Foolish Burial, and no Allure of Darkness. I'm not running Allure of Darkness because honestly, every time I run it and I'm in a situation where I can activate Allure and it gets ashed, I end up not being in a good position. So I decided, what, just play gold sock. No one is really going to ash whatever you banish, whether it's Mercury or Tragedy. Of gold sock, never, but if it's Allure, oh my word, they would just always ash me. So I decided, yeah, gold sock. The 56th card in his deck was Harpies. Harpies came up once, I drew it in my opening hand, and then when my opponent, he was going first, I drew for turn and activated Harpies, cool. But yeah, I decided, I'm keeping Harpies in my main deck just so that I have something to deal with the back row built into my main deck. So yeah, pretty happy with this. And yeah, this was like something I decided last minute, but pretty happy with Harpies there. Super Poly, this came up quite a bit. I think once, maybe twice or 3 times, but Super Poly, yep, pretty good to break boards. Talent, 3 thrusts, banishment, retribution, and duplication. So yeah, this was the deck list I was running. Pretty happy with it. I didn't feel like it was very bricky. There obviously were times where one where it was complete brick, couldn't do anything. Just had to, I know something got negated, that's it, that's all I could do. But yeah, we do have quite a good number of, like, seeing different cards. We're not bricking on the same multiple copies of the same card. So yeah, pretty happy with this. That is the main deck. Extra deck is sort of standard. We have the 2 Albions, the 1 Mirror Jade, 1 Lubellion, the Rinbrim, and Titany Clad. Pretty standard. We are obviously running 2 Grand Gugnos this time. I used to only run 1 Grand Gugno, but I decided last minute, okay, we're going to play 2. And honestly, I must say it's pretty easy, because sometimes if you already like summon out most of your other fusions and you have Cartesia and you want a fusion summon, sometimes if you have that, it felt like having that second copy was needed. So I decided, yeah, cool, let's play second copy. And it's also pretty good because even if I summon Grand Gugno, let's say if I'm going in my first turn or second turn, whatever, Grand Gugno, most probably I always end up usually sending Titany Clad or Adlib, depending on my hand. But having access to a second one allowed me to even just send Rinbrim during my opponent's turn, or Garura, but it was mostly just Rinbrim as well. But yeah, playing 2 copies was pretty good. It gave more fusion summoning to do with Cartesia, so pretty happy with that. Garura, Super Poly target mainly there, because yeah, this is for Mitsurugi, this is also for Malice, and something else, well, whatever is relevant. But yeah, Super Poly target. Curtis, Proskinion. Curtis came up, Proskinion didn't come up because I wasn't in the situation where I needed it, but I'm still not taking this out because Raijo Mitsurugi is a thing, and this is pretty good with Super Poly and a Despia card. Chimera and Chaos Tarsos for pop and back row removal. I was thinking of using Barolode Furious in the place of Chimera, but I couldn't give up the draw of Chimera, because if we're sided in and we have hand traps, like these cards, being able to draw them off Chimera would maybe help us. So I decided to keep that and not put in Barolode Furious. And we obviously have Lad did come out I think twice, and yeah, did a pretty good job. And we have Dragos Depelia as well. Yeah, just there as a Super Poly target as well, but it's a negate, it's a monster negate. So yeah, that is the extra deck. In the side deck, we have the 3 Lanciers just for Malice. This came up. Droll, I did not see Droll, but yeah, we did end up siding it. Dogwood did come out in my game against Elements. Wait, was it Elements? No, against Memento. So Dogwood, yeah, I will discuss about this a bit later. Masquerade, Time Card, World Chalice, Guard Dragon, Armaduke. This is mainly for Malice, but I did go up against Malice, but did this come up? No, didn't end up needing it, but still, I do think this is a very good Super Poly target to play. So yeah, we are going to leave it there. 1 Lightning Storm for back row removal. We're only playing 1 because 1 Harpies Feather Dust is already in the deck, and I wanted to play Dragon's Mind as well. But Dragon's Mind, I didn't want to keep it in the main deck, so I decided to keep it as a side deck. And obviously for thrust targets, Sanctum and D Barrier. So that is my deck list. That was also my side deck. So let's hop on onto like the games that I went through. So in terms of the games, we had 5 rounds. Game 1 was against Malice, which we ended up winning. Game 2 was Regenesis Kashtera, which we lost. Game 3 was against that Temple of the King, whatever that archetype is called. We ended up, I think we drew. We ended up drawing against that one. Game number 4 was against the Memento, and game number 5 was against Telemon. So we ended up losing to Regenesis Kashtera, and we drew against the Temple of Kings archetype deck. The trap deck was basically a trap deck. So yeah, game number 1 against Malice, we won the dice roll, and opponent didn't have enough gas in his opening hand, so we went to game 2 and game 3. Game 2 and 3 side in Lancia, and luckily for me, I ended up seeing it, so that helped me to win the first game against Malice. So Lancia came out. Super Poly didn't come out. I ended up having to use Super Poly. Okay, wait, actually I did use Super Poly to go into Garura, but not into the World Chalice fusion monster, but just into Garura. But Lancia definitely helped me to win there. Game 2 against Regenesis Kashtera, we lost a dice roll, and my opening hand was Branded Loss, Branded Fusion, Branded Regained, High Spirits, and Kits. Honestly, that is such a god hand for a branded player. The only thing is High Spirits and Kits. I don't have any target for Kits, so it was kind of a brick. But unfortunately, we drew. I think my next draw was a Super Poly, but we went up against Kashtira Genesis, so Super Poly is not good at all. There's literally nothing you can use, and unfortunately, we lost to Ash there, and my opponent just had enough damage on the board to take game number 1. Then game number 2, we ended up going second, and unfortunately, it was such a serious grind. I don't think we drew. I think we hit to it full loss, and I ended up just playing a little conservatively. Didn't give him too many draws. I think I ended up giving 2 draws. One was off Fusion Deployment, and the other one was obviously off Branded Fusion. Luckily for us, we did end up drawing Thrust in our opening hand, so we just going to Albion, sent to grave by summoning Bestial Rebellion. I think we played Branded Loss because Regained is not good against Kashtira Genesis, so we just placed up the Loss, so that we have a line with Branded Banishments, either to go into Chaos Star Source or Lad, but I ended up just mainly using it for Star Source, just to pop his field, not give me too many bodies. And we did use Thrust to set Fusion Duplication. That game number 2 was a bit of grind. Unfortunately, my opponent, he did side in, Ultimate Slayer. So when we brought up Mirror Jade, he did use Ultimate Slayer to get rid of it. And then we went on to, I think it was like turn 4, turn 5. That's like how long game 2 went. Unfortunately, we're in a position where my opponent had 1,200 life points left. I had 2,800 life points left. And unfortunately, I did manage to bring out Creditus. And I unfortunately did not use Creditus effect immediately on its summon, because I got punished with another Ultimate Slayer, which bounced Creditus back into the deck, and my opponent just ended up attacking, clearing my board, and he had one more attack, which just dealt enough damage for game number 2, which ultimately caused us to lose against Regenesis Kashtira. So yeah, honestly, in that game, my mistake was just not activating Creditus immediately, because my opponent, he was running out of Regenesis names, and honestly, just if I did activate Creditus, we would have actually stood a chance of winning game number 2 and going to game number 3, but that was a loss. Game number 3 was against the Temple of Kings trap deck. I seriously wish I searched up the name before making this video, but yeah, we ended up drawing there. We lost the dice roll. That was the game where I bricked in game 1. I just drew Adlib, Talent, Mercuria, Kit, and something, but yeah, my opponent, he just had to negate the Kit, and also, no, he didn't negate Kits, he just negated the Branded Fusion as well as Talent, and honestly, he just had too much on board. He also was playing the Fiendsmith package, so he had Caesar, and yeah, we just skip that, go to game number 2. Game number 2, we did end up winning. Luckily for us, we did have enough to slow our opponent down and just claim victory there. Game number 3, it was a bit of a grind, but we did end up drawing into 4 loss, so we did draw, I think we dropped 1 4 loss or 2, I'm not sure, I think it was 2, might be wrong, or 1, but yeah, we did end up slowing him a little bit down there, and it was a bit of a grind, but unfortunately we went to like turn 4 or 3, and we were a bit stressed for time there, close to the end of the round, and I brought out Masquerade, but unfortunately my opponent, he was smart enough not to activate something. He just entered battle phase. We were stuck in battle phase, but no damage was done to either of us, and time was called on the round, so it ended up being a draw. It was weird. I did side in Lightning Storm and Harpies, but my opponent was playing, what's that called, the Heavenly Lord of Prison, so his back row was completely protected, so it didn't really do much. I couldn't destroy anything there. But yeah, we ended up drawing against that in game number 3. Game number 4 was against Memento. We did win dice roll. Opponent in game 1, he didn't have enough gas, or I guess cards, to get enough names into the graveyard to summon the big boy. I think it's called Creation King. Yeah, Creation King. So we took game number 1. Game number 2, it was such a grind, but we unfortunately end up losing because he could attack directly. I tried my best to negate, Kiron, allowing that, but yeah, he just, I don't know, he just had so much gas. So he ended up taking game number 2 because, yeah, he just dealt like 10,000 damage there. And then game number 3, Dogwood is what helped me there. We did side in Dogwood because, we were close to the end of the round. So we took out Fuolos and the Perulia. We kept 3 Dogwoods. I think I also kept Droll as well. No, not Droll. We kept Dogwood. We kept Dragon's Mind. I think I also kept in D-Bear just in case. and I think maybe a draw or two. That was what I did to side in for Memento, but the whole point is Dogwood came in clutch when he attempted to activate one of the Mementos. We chained Dogwood, gained some LP, then he had to enter battle phase, but with that we had banishment set up, so we went that, activated banishment, fusion summon into Star Source, popped his monster so he couldn't deal damage, and unfortunately, yeah, he couldn't find any other way to deal damage in a battle phase, and we ended up winning that due to Dogwood. So yeah, Dogwood, listen, I do have Masquerade, but if I can't get Masquerade out or Masquerade gets dealt with, I decided we are going to play Dogwood in that position. Sure, it's not really a nice way to win a game, but it is what it is. That's Yu-Gi-Oh! So we keep playing it. So that was my game 4 against Memento. Game number 5 against Telements, I must say, in a 45-minute round, game number 1, or round 1 I guess, was 38 minutes long. That's literally, we only started playing game 2 when there was like what, 15 minutes left or something like that. But yeah, Telements, yeah, they were fusion summoning, and we just also had lots of cards that allowed us to fusion summon. We also had to deal with Rukalos, the shufflers in the graveyard. Luckily for me, this is where in game 1 my Telement player, he went first. He did set up a board. He had Kid Carlos, Rukalos, Fieldspell, Scream, Salik, the shuffler in the graveyard as well, and you know, obviously some other tier cards that he could help mull. But luckily for us, we did draw a Harpy, so that dealt with the back row, and you know, we just had, I think we also had Super Poly, and just enough, we managed to clear Kid Carlos effect to negate a special summon with, I think it was with Branded White or Cartesia, and then we had Lost and Brand Fusion was going to resolve there. So yeah, we ended up winning game number 1, but it was such a grind against Telement. Game number 2, Masquerade honestly was the MVP there. We set up a board. Even though the Telement player did lose round 1, he made us go first in round 2. So you know, I just had to find a way to bring out Mirror Jade to also stop my opponent from doing too many fusion summons with the Telement. Sorry for the weird cut there, something just cut off, but as I was saying, Masquerade in the game against Telement was the way that my opponent, he had to deal quite a bit of damage just to get rid of Masquerade, but by the time he managed to get rid of Masquerade, time was already cold, so we ended up winning that due to, you know, life point differences. So yeah, that was the games, the 5 games today playing with Branded. We did go up against Malice, but unfortunately, you know, it wasn't something where I ended up having to go up against a full combo Malice board, unfortunately. But you know, I feel like with the hands that I had, I think we could have, you know, played really well, but I can't say we were going to win definitely. But bricking, we didn't break. Consistency was pretty good. We did see the cards that we sided in, and yeah, I'm overall happy with what we had here. I think decklist is pretty good. Obviously, you know, playing 50 would be good, but I can't play 50. I kind of need to go above 50, unfortunately, but it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it, and yeah, I'm overall happy with the performance. Coming 7th place out of 30 people at the OTS. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how Branded did. Would I make any changes? I don't think so at the moment. I think I am pretty happy with my deck list that I chose to play today, and who knows, there is another OTS coming up, but we might do more testing. But yeah guys, this is my deck list video. If you guys have any thoughts or opinions or anything you would like to comment, please do mention down below in the comments. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video and find it inspiring, or you know, whatever the case is. And yeah, please do like, comment and subscribe guys, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.